Justin, Fast Eddy Edwards. Today we're going to break down the submission. It's one of my favorite submissions. It's a guillotine choke. I was awarded the submission of the night bonus on Fox FX5 against Josh Neer in Minneapolis. So I was in this dirty boxing position where he's got a couple options here. He can either try to get away or he can close distance. And in this situation, he closed distance and secured a right side underhook. And I was posting on his head. I was using this to create separation so I can throw strikes and stuff like this as I wanted to keep it standing. And again, he tried to close the distance. And so he changed level, come for a takedown, and then he lifted me up here like this. And when he did, I locked my hands and I positioned my hips away from his head. And from here, I put all my pressure on the back of his head with my shoulder and my head. And then he started to slowly go down. Sorry about that, buddy. A common mistake, people don't put enough pressure on the back of the head, which I did. When he goes underneath, I drop my shoulder on top of it so he can't get his head out. A lot of people will lean back like this and try to stretch the neck out, and it alleviates the pressure and lets his head come up. So as soon as his head went underneath my shoulders, I dropped my shoulder on top, and I also add the secondary pressure of my chin coming in the back of his neck. And that's when he tried to lift his head up and come underneath to put pressure on my shoulder, and I just adjusted my hips out to the side. I close my guard and I apply more pressure, and they started going down. Sorry, but that's all right. So once I'm able to secure his head into this position, I want to get my butt away from him. It allows my body to have a lot more torque. I close my guard, and again, I added that added pressure with my chin. It comes in the back of the neck, and I use my core to rock. So if I'm in this position here, this is his head, this is his breathing room. I take all that space away, and I just rip and use my core to take that space and take it away so he can't breathe. So in order to finish the traditional guillotine, if I'm in this position and I go flat, if I'm square on my back, he can stack his right shoulder towards my neck and put this pressure on where I can't get a lot of leverage. But if he goes back, if I push my hips away, I still keep the pressure on his head. Now I have all this room to rock. If I'm flat on my back, I only have limited mobility. So by putting my hips away, I take away all that space on that far side, and I use my core to rip. So now my motion is going all the way this way instead of laying on my back and just having this limited movement. For a traditional guillotine, we're just going to walk through how you do it. His head has to be below my shoulder or breastplate level. So a lot of times, like I said before, I'm going to get his head down, and I add that pressure on the back of his head. And the biggest mistake where people, they have space there, we take away all that space, and like I said, I take my elbow or my chin and put it on the back of his neck. I like to push back on his heels. It opens up a space for me to slide my hips in. Here, I push my butt away from his body so I have more leverage when I'm cranking. I close my guard, I put my chin down, and I bring my elbows across my body. So the whole motion, when I finish, my knees come forward, and his neck is going to hinge over top of my forearm. That's going to create the choking motion. So the whole finish, I'm bringing my knees in, and I'm rocking this way.